Hello and welcome. My name is Ashley Leavy of the Love and Light School, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing all about the healing properties of Orange Aventurine. Now, this is an amazing crystal for inner guidance and reflection, but you might not be very familiar with it. You might have seen, of course, green aventurine, maybe even blue or possibly pink or red, but orange aventurine is quite uncommon and not usually commercially available. You often see it in a lot of different healing tools like chakra wands or pendants, but on its own it's a little bit harder to come by. And this is really unfortunate because it's such a great stone and it's actually fairly plentiful and abundant. So if you know me and you know how I approach my work with healing crystals, I always like to do a little meditation with them and kind of get to know them. And I often find an affirmation that sort of comes through that reinforces their properties. So the affirmation for Orange Aventurine is, I take a sacred pause to release thoughts that weigh me down, making mental space for new clarity and inner guidance to emerge. So this crystal is really all about taking that time for that sacred pause, clearing out all the mental clutter, and then making space, making room for that new clarity to emerge that can really only come from that moment of kind of stillness and silence and inner reflection. So Orange Aventurine is an amazing crystal, like I mentioned, and I only have a few pieces of it myself, but it's one that I really enjoy. So this one is a little Orange Aventurine pumpkin. It's one of my absolute favorites. It just makes me happy every time I see it, but I really love the autumn, so that kind of makes sense. And then I also have a few tumbled stones, and they can range in color from sort of a peach to a deep burnt orange red, depending on the specific piece. Now, Orange Aventurine really helps you become more present to your feelings and emotions. It allows you to hold space in that time and quiet and reflection for you to think about how you're feeling and really start to process your emotions. It also enhances feelings of happiness, joy, optimism, and contentment, often because after we release what's no longer needed and we've kind of let go of those things that are weighing us down, we just feel better. Also, because of this, it promotes rest and relaxation. We no longer feel so stressed out when we're holding on to all that baggage that we don't really need. Another great thing about Orange Aventurine is that it helps you discover the simple pleasures in your life, and energetically it supports you while you're overcoming past traumas. So once you're able to heal these things that have been problematic or difficulties in your life, you can really move forward in a way that allows you to accept things as they are and just find pleasure in your everyday. Now, Orange Aventurine, like I mentioned, creates that space for us to pause and reflect, but it also encourages feelings of personal freedom and exploration. And a big part of this is because we're able to let go of all those things that we don't need. And so when you're in touch with your emotions, you're acknowledging what's important, you're letting go of what's not serving you, you're able to find this new sense of freedom and really move forward. And when I say it encourages exploration, I mean of new belief systems, of new people and places, of new cultures, of new spiritual practices. It really is a stone that connects you with this inner explorer, exploring the inner worlds and the outer worlds. And in that way, it's really closely aligned with the planet Jupiter. Now, it also aids the decision-making process because a lot of times we feel stuck and like we can't move forward because there are too many options or we're just cluttered up with excess emotional energy. And when we're able to clear all that out, we can actually go forward with ease, making decisions and taking the next steps. Now, one thing that I love working with Orange Aventurine for is helping to overcome blocks to creativity. As you can imagine, for me, that's quite important with all the writing and creation that I do, but no matter what form creativity is taking in your life, you don't have to be a painter or a ballet dancer or anything like that, although it's great if you are. But anything that you do that feels like a creative expression, a way to express yourself, Orange Aventurine really helps bring that to the surface, and it encourages you to tap into and find your hidden talents. Now, Orange Aventurine also helps you enjoy the fruits of your labor. So all that work that you've put in, kind of clearing out things that aren't serving you and tapping into this newfound freedom, moving forward in your life, this is something to be celebrated, and we don't do this for ourselves often enough. And Orange Aventurine reminds us to take a moment of pause and celebrate these achievements in our lives. And because of that, it really promotes celebration and also appreciation of the relationships in our lives, of our support network and the people that help us, encourage us along the way. Orange Aventurine also helps you look back at past traumas, obstacles, difficult situations, and really find the treasures and the gifts and the lessons there so that you can learn from them and feel more emotionally whole, really understand why they've kind of come up in your life. One of the reasons that I love working with Orange Aventurine in meditation, for example, is because not only does it help you find this sense of inner stillness and helps you with this reflection, but it also silences your inner critic. So, that negative self-talk, those voices that creep in and tell us we're not good enough, we're not deserving, we're not worthy, we couldn't possibly do things that we're setting our mind to. Orange Aventurine helps kind of shut that voice out because it's not really constructive and allows us to find this deep inner exploration without self-judgment. For this reason, it's an excellent companion for any type of shadow work that you're doing. Now, Orange Aventurine is also thought to enhance feelings of intellect and enhance your personal wisdom. And I think a lot of this goes back to this idea of deep inner work and exploration. It also allows you to discover and appreciate your own personal strengths. So when you can overcome these obstacles and challenges, when you can see the gifts in all the wounding or experiences that you've gone through in your life and really pull those lessons, it kind of helps you realize how strong and brave and courageous you really are, just what you've really made it through in your life up until this point. And that builds on your self-confidence. I love this stone for that. Now, it also helps calm intense emotions. So if you find yourself feeling overly frustrated, sad, irritable, angry, it really just helps bring you back into balance so that you don't have these major peaks and valleys, these big emotional spikes. Just keeps you nice and mellow. Now, it also facilitates guided meditations and journey work of all kinds. And another great thing about it is it encourages you to speak your true feelings. This is something, a lot of crystals promote positive, clear communications, but this is really about speaking those feelings, bringing those feelings up to the surface, and in a way that's full of compassion. It also increases your physical and emotional vitality and resilience, and it enhances, like I said before, your confidence, but also those feelings of courage and bravery, because you know what? You're pretty awesome. You're pretty miraculous, the things that you've gone through in your life, and Orange Aventurine just helps you take a moment to appreciate yourself. Now, like I said, it ranges from kind of a pumpkin orange to a light peach to even a darker burnt orange red. It's associated with the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. It enhances the qualities of the zodiac signs Taurus and Virgo, and it also brings in the energies of the element of earth. So a lot of stability, grounding, focus on physical health, well-being. Its companion flower is fritillaria, its companion essential oil is beautiful calendula, and its companion stone is blue aventurine. They're complementary colors and they work great together. It's commonly found in India or Chile, more commonly I think in India, but sometimes in Chile as well. And although we, like I said earlier, normally see aventurine in colors like green and blue, the orange color in Orange Aventurine is attributed to inclusions of hematite or goethite. Now, I want to give you one way to work with this stone because it's one that you might not be familiar with yet. So if something's really troubling you or weighing you down in your life, I want you to hold your Orange Aventurine stone in your hands. Take a few deep breaths and allow any thoughts that are really pertaining to the situation to flow through your mind, and just let them pass through your mind without judgment, without criticism. Just let them come through, like anything that you're worried about, that you're stressed about, anything that's really weighing on you. And think about this situation for like 30 to 60 seconds, and anything that pops in your mind, whether it's who you need to talk to, what you need to do, what you're sad about, what you're really struggling with, what you're excited about, all those things, right? Any thought that comes through. Just allow them to flow through, and after about 60 seconds, set your stone down and start to write in your journal or on a scrap of paper everything that popped into your head. So just do a complete mind dump onto that paper, get all those thoughts out and any new thoughts that come up while you're writing everything that came to mind. Then let the energy of the Orange Aventurine that's sitting there kind of support you as you're writing this list. And once you have everything down on paper that you can think of and you've kind of emptied your mind, pick up that Orange Aventurine again, hold it in your hands, and really think about all of these thoughts and how this is all contributed to some mental clutter. And think about how, by clearing out this mental clutter, you're really creating a path forward. You're going to be able to move ahead. So after you've written down everything you can think of without judgment, just not leaving anything off the list, getting all down on paper, hold your stone once again and take a few moments to reflect on what you've written. Look at that list, scan through that list, and think about each item individually. And then hold the intention to release the thoughts from your mind that are just mental clutter, things you have no control over, things you're worrying about unnecessarily, and then gain insight about the way to move forward by the positive thoughts that remain. And I don't mean positive like good and happy. I mean positive like actionable, things that that you do have control of and that you can do to continue on your journey. That is it for this video, all about the properties of Orange Aventurine. I hope that I inspired you to work with a new stone, get to know it, and become familiar with it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Ashley Leavy of the Love and Light School. You can find me on Instagram for more great videos like this at Love and Light School, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. And you can also connect with me online at loveandlightschool.com. Until next time, many crystal blessings.